Okay, today we're going to talk about some very rare, probably the rarest DC comics out there as far as print run. And these were sold at like Toys R Us and other retailers in box sets. And the print run was very low on these. Some are more prevalent than others, but some are extremely rare. And I even dismissed it when I first saw some listed. What does the barcode matter? Well, on these it does. This is an indication. This is the rare DC universe. So if you go to a store, you want to find these, and these ran from like 1992 to 1996, the very end of 1992 to the very end of 1996, I believe. And this is Justice League number 61 from 1990. They write this stuff so small on there. But, you'd probably say, well, uh, I'm not really into that. Well, you need to pick it up anyway. Some of them could be extremely rare. Um, Usually you'll see something like this. This is a Justice League of America number 70 from 93, I believe, January 93. Uh, and it's a direct book, not newsstand. You don't have your regular barcode across there or a barcode that says direct on it, but instead it sometimes have artwork in there uh, or writing, and this says "World Without a Superman." Well, that's about what we have right now, folks. But that's a story for another time. Here's Aquaman number one of his runs in December of 1993, part one of four, and just of Aquaman standing there with his trident, Devil Flyer. My own character has a trident, and that trident's going to change over time. Uh, there's a whole story behind that, but you can see this makes all the difference right there. These came in box sets, and often in those box sets they would get damaged. What it was is they printed some of these overages and things and put them into box sets to sell. Here's Aquaman number 3, February 94. So the book transitioned 90, uh, 93 to 94, just those 4 issues. But you see the barcode there, DC Universe, and just wonderful color on these Aquaman. Just a wonderful looking book. Whether you're in Aquaman or not, you have a rare book if you have a DC Universe logo there, and that's not prevalently known yet by a lot of people. So you might be able to pick up some deals. I went to my local comic shop and found 44 of them in all their comics, and I still look for them. Uh, Here's Justice League number 85 from 94, and a nice ice, if you like that kind of obscure character, ice from the Justice League. DC Universe logo, and I may have some in this box here. We're just going to pull randomly and see what we find. The further we're down we go, I think I might run into some unless I've replaced this box sitting here. Here's some new stuff that you may have. Marvels, just a wonderful, I think at least inserts there. I'm not sure if the whole thing is done by Alex Ross, and maybe none of it's done by Alex Ross, but it looks like Alex Ross's work. I would say it's probably Alex Ross, and he's known for Marvels. He does just a lot of covers now, but just a very colorful cover, very dynamic. I can't really recommend that many good comics coming out now, but here's an old one from 2003 from Image, a new brand of heroes, the Clockmaker, the first issue. Just look at that cover. Just wonderful, wonderful cover there. Just unusual with the panels, and it makes me want to read it. I like strange stuff like that kind of breaks the mode. Here's Marvel's number 3, the next issue. and that's an Alex Ross cover. I really like the Alex Ross covers. I really think he was a step up from the next inheritor after Neil Adams for super realism in comics. Here's a Rob Liefeld. This is a new one. These are recent acquisitions from my comic shop from a couple months ago. This is the variant edition. Rob Liefeld's been doing uh, a lot of variant covers for Marvel and other things. That's the Defenders #1. Thought I might give that a shot. Nice Doctor Strange and Deadpool. You really don't get those on a cover that often, but you can understand why Rob Liefeld would put Deadpool in there, and they get him to do it because he was the one that created the character. Here's all new Wolverine with brother and sister back to back. Old Dakin there with his claws out, and the new Wolverine. Number 25. Beautiful cover. I try and pick up things of historical interest, and sometimes I even grace very liberal creators like Eric Larson. Eric Larson doing North Force. I don't know why I wanted to say North Freeze, but number 0. Just kind of normal fare, charging ahead of a new group. Thought I might give him a try. He's also doing Ant, which he owns the rights to for the last 10 years or so. And Ant has been an interesting character to me. Funny enough, I met Eric Larson when he was shilling his first book. I think it was in '85 for the first Megaton issue that had his character Savage Dragon that's there. Although I've never seen Savage Dragon with Canadian. That's kind of interesting. North Force looks a little bit like it might be a riff on Alpha Flight. Did. And it looks like I've got a Haunt number 2. I've got Haunt number 1 and maybe some more if they came out with them. I know I have 2 issues. That's a trade paperback stuffed in there. I usually don't do that. Here's the other Haunt number 1. McFarlane, Kirkman, Capullo stuff. Got this. Trying to think. Maybe an estate sale. I don't know. I got it fairly reasonable. The Death of Captain Marvel. Just a beautiful cover. This is a trade paperback. Marvel trade paperback. Maybe you have that in your collection. How many times are they going to kill off some of these characters? Daring Mystery Comics, number 1. It says Timely Comics down here, 70 years Marvel Comics. Just a beautiful dirigible cover, very atmospheric, and he's kind of like Batman, although he looks nothing like Batman, standing on the little gargoyle there, whatever you call that. But just a black sensitive cover. Black covers can get damaged, and show the damage very prevalently. Here's All Select Comics again. They've got the little Timely Comics shield up there to represent their old getting out of shot there. To represent Captain America's old shield and the old Timely brand. These were to celebrate, you can see there on bottom, 70 years of Marvel Comics. I've been trying to complete my collection on these because I kind of missed them when they came out. And they're just a wonderful throwback to the way comics used to be. Here's another one. Young Allies. Of course, Young Allies came out in the Golden Age. So it was a throwback to the very early history when Marvel was called Timely. Then they were called Atlas. And then they became Marvel Comics. In fact, the first Marvel comic is Fantastic Four #1 under the name Marvel Comics. All Winners #1. This was Marvel or Timely's first supergroup with Captain America, Bucky, uh, Human Torch. Toro was his sidekick. You had a lot of sidekick. The Wizard, no, he doesn't pee all the time. But the Wizard, he was like the Flash, Miss America, and Submariner. Submariner, very early Timely character, pre Aquaman, King of the Seas. And you have Red Skull there. You got to have a good foil, right? A good villain to fight. We've got Mystic Comics, ooh, mysterious, and USA Comics, and those kind of go together because it looks like it has the Destroyer, which was Stan Lee's, and actually this one's signed by the colorist A Street. You can see right there by my finger where it's signed in silver, but don't have a lot of color. But beautiful, beautiful atmospheric looking books. At least this one is. This one's a little bit more stylized, but wonderful looking books to celebrate 70 years. Of course, they're way past that now. They've passed 80 or 85 years now. I don't know. JSA, I need to redo this one. This one has a sticker on it, but just received it not too long ago. It looked like an interesting transition of power of the old Johnny Thunder into a new Johnny Thunder. Just a very sad looking JSA on the cover, JSA number 37. And I like the play of just the white being depicted outline and the transition to color. It's a a eye catching cover. You want to know what's going on down here and why are they so saddened here? It's a passing of power, it seems like, a passing of an old friend. So interesting looking book. I always like the throwback books that like All Star Squadron. That was a great run on All Star Squadron, but Crisis kind of killed that title. Uh, Superman. I got this one because I had a piece of I had the production art to the cover to this. It may still be up on eBay. I think it is. But I had to get this. I met Dan Jurgens, I think, in 85 and 86. Met a lot of good people there. Jim Shooter, John Romita Sr. and Jr. and his wife, Virginia, and uh, Frank Miller, and just a lot of greats that are passed away now. Stan Lee and uh, just I'll have to write them down. Here's a Mystic. I have a whole complete Mystic run. This one's in there. Bought a few individual issues from Comic Shop, I think, but I got a full run on eBay. There's some great Aaron Lopresti because he worked uh, Aaron Lopresti covers toward the end of the run. In fact, he did the last issue, which was number 43. I have a couple copies of that. Had one individual. Here's number 35. Doesn't look like Aaron did any of these covers here. He was generally the latter 30s to the 40s, and there were fill-in. There was one or two issues that were not Aaron Lopresti covers, but these look like they're a couple extra that I got. Here is looks like a Michael Turner cover. I don't know. I'd have to look that up, but it looks like Michael Turner when he was number 5. The new Fantastic Four, sort of a rebranding. You have Storm and Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, and Ben Grimm, the Thing. My daughter used to call him Rock Man. That makes sense, doesn't it? And Black Panther. Of course, I think Storm and Black Panther are married, but that is a lovely looking cover. The new Fantastic Four, just part of the Initiative storyline, number 544. Another Fantastic Four book, Fantastic Four number 1. This would be 646. I hate these double numbering. They always like to put out number one issues. It's a number one, but it's a LGY number 6 in the whole run. Variant edition cover, the return of the Fantastic new, and now we've got the return. But it's a dramatic cover with the same grouping of characters. And an oldie but a goodie because it has Art Adams, and they were reimagining Fantastic Four again in 349 in 1990. Here you see the wonderful artwork to Mole Man's character that was on Fantastic Four #1, I believe. And you also have an appearance of the Punisher there too. See how you can, but a nice Art Adams cover. That's when they were coming in with the Gray Hulk and Wolverine, Ghost Rider, and Spider-Man as sort of a new Fantastic Four for about 3 issues, I think. And another copy of 349. I'm looking at barcodes on these. Here's another wonderful Art Adams in that series, 347. I highly recommend you add these to your collection if you don't have them in your collection. Not just nice Art Adams, and you never know with the Marvel Universe if you're going to get to see this group, as the Fantastic Four. Of course, they have to introduce the original Fantastic Four before they do this. Of course, they've introduced all these characters in their own right in movies, but they've never been grouped together. But if they do, these books right here will be shooting up in price. This is a nice white cover, easily dirtied, so you want to keep it nice and boarded, bagged, and nice Art Adams cover again, number 348. Pretty cool idea of putting them all together. And then here's What If This Was the Fantastic Four, a tribute to where Ringo. Of course, he passed away. This is #1. Not, a what if. I don't need to number them unless it's in a series, but you see the group in there. So that's a newer book fairly new book that you can pick up and put with those other classic Fantastic Four issues. I believe this is a second printing of 348, and you see the gold, and I love the negative gold and Mo Man's face there, gold and black. Looks like a negative image, but the white would be gold like the cover. But I believe this is a second printing. Not these have been picked up fairly recently. The coloring's different on this. This is probably a second printing. Love these negative images back here of number 347. I didn't even know these existed, but I found out about them somehow and acquired them all at the same time. And here's Fear itself. 50 years of the Fantastic Four up there. This is a variant edition cover. And again, the grouping of characters there, Wolverine, Hulk, Ghost Rider, and Spider-Man together, sort of as a Fantastic Four grouping. I know I don't think of those 3 characters when I think of Fantastic Four. Here's an older book. This is a comic or a small trade paperback, I guess you could say. The by Will Eisner, the first 93 dailies that were in I like that they put it in comic book. It's a little oversized, but this is either a golden age bag or a silver age bag. It's probably a silver age bag. I don't know who published this. This might be Kitchen Sink. It may not be, but the first 93 dailies. So if you want to check out some of the wonderful early stuff for a fairly reasonable price, this would be a good book to hunt down. Here's a trade paperback. It looks like I had trade paperback in there. Here's Elsewhere. Looks like a good read. If I don't put the flap down, which is not a good practice, but if I don't put the flap down, it means I want to read it. It really looks like an interesting read elsewhere. That's a great title, great concept. It looks way out there. I believe the story has to do with the disappearance of Amelia Earhart, and and what happened to her in an imaginary form. This is supposed to be the lost aviator, Amelia Earhart, that disappeared in the 30s when aviation heroes were so uh, revered and things were going on in new technology in aviation and flight. Here's a key issue. I like that they put that not only on Mystic, but others of that month, saying this is a key issue. I don't know what makes it key, but it's Mystic 31 and Aaron Lopresti cover and Aaron Lopresti artwork inside. So maybe I'll bring some of these to the Fan Fest in October of next year and get him to sign at least the last issues that I have of this run. He did the cover, at least maybe the artwork to the last issue. And here's Mystic 30. I don't think this is a Aaron Lopresti cover, but a nice cover nonetheless. And I've got to say, CrossGen, too bad they're not still not around. Alan um, Andy Smith also worked for them, and there are some Andy Smith ads for the books he was doing at the time. This is not an Aaron Lopresti cover, but still a nice cover, number 29. Look at the color on those. Cross Gen, what really impresses me, they had high production values. The colors were just stunning. It was a good run of underrated books, underread books. And I think over time, some of these especially Mystic 15, it has the one and only uh, sort of parody appearance of mm, drawing a blank. I have to edit that in. 26. It'll probably come to me here in a minute. Mystic 26. I mean, if you can look at a finer cover, I mean, as far as coloring and just, I mean, whether you're interested in the character or the story or not, I mean, it's a good looking book. And I plan to sit down and read all my full run of Mystic here. Not here's Mystic 16. Good looking covers, folks. And and a lot of these I got from my local comic book shop in the back issue bin for $1 a piece. And number 15 was the first sort of parody, the only appearance in comics by Harry Potter. Drew a blank there for a moment. But yeah, that's a key issue. If you find a Mystic 15, I and my friend Elsie over there in Tennessee, he found or he was looking through the Mystics, and I said, "Well, do they have a number 15?" And it said, "Yeah." And he took two, and I took two. He sold his two for about $50 a piece, and I've still got mine, and actually have bought two more. So I think I have like 4 or 5 Mystics number 15. One in low shape, but not too bad shape, and the rest in like near mint. But look at that. That's almost like a Doctor Strange cover with all the things going on. I need to check the chat and see what the chat has been saying. Just take me a moment and we'll chime in with the chat and see who's in here. If anyone is in there, we shall see here in a moment. Just have to do a little click, click, click. Okay, no one's Right now, I know Don Chen is on right now. Not a lot of people aware of who I am yet, but 22. Right now, I'm just doing some short live streaming. Looks like I put all the mystics in here, and I won't bore you with all of them. But Mystic 23, if you like a leggy looking woman, a sexy looking hero, uh, Mystic may do it for you. You might like these not just straight superhero stories, but here's number 24. Look at the color on that. Just beautiful, beautiful production. Had wonderful artists like Andy Smith and Aaron Lopresti doing artwork for them, and Bart Sears and other greats of the field. I love this. This was maybe the first Mystic I bought just because it was a nice skull cover. Wonderful looking comic. Mystic 19. I should have put this in the title if I knew I'd come across all these mystics. Just wonderful looking cross gen books. I can't recommend cross gen books enough. And I really love that they put them in compilation books to make all their recent stuff that they'd published sort of in a large anthology trade paperback form. And they had little digest size and fuller regular trade paperback sizes, and I have some of both. I wish I had them all because they're just wonderfully done, and it's a wonderful concept. And I picked up the ones that I had at Hastings when they came out, and also when my Hastings store closed here in town. So Mystic 17. So maybe we'll have a Mystic 15 in there that has the first appearance of Harry Potter. And the only appearance. Actually, for some reason, the creator of Harry Potter does not want her creation in comic books. So that may be the only appearance beyond a parody. And it also has other DC and Marvel mystics in it. They're in like a bar, and you see Harry Potter, and you see Doctor Strange and Etrigan the Demon from DC Comics, and other mystic type magical characters from comics. Here's a number 13. I may have all my 15s pulled, and they may not be in here to keep them all together. I don't know. Here's a number 14, and it looks like that may be the last Mystic in this box right now. But man, just look at the color. You can't do any better, for a comic. I mean, you may do it a different style. The coloring could be different, but for what this is just a wonderful looking book. They had very, very high production value on their books. Now, this is a thicker book, not too old, a few years old. Uh, DC's Very Merry Multiverse, and has one of my favorite characters in there. For some reason, Captain Carrot. I always thought that was a great run. Also has Etrigan the Demon back there, and other iterations of Superman. Has Lobo in there. A shout out to Phil. I know he loves Lobo from Zade Comics, and has Batman Beyond there. 10 Tales of Heroic Holiday. Uh, and they use a DC Universe type thing there. A square bound book, larger book. I like to get the giants when I can, and this was a nice looking 80-page giant. Uh, and now we have a lenticular cover, Creeper number 1. Although this looks like a different iteration of Creeper number 1. This was part of the new 52, $3.99 cover price. Um, like the lenticular covers. I hate the on these things. It's 23.1. I mean, it just makes it difficult on collectors. I don't know. It has a 3D just flat. You're not on the screen here. You're not going to get that lenticular. Well, you get a little lenticular movement there on that. I'm hypnotizing you with my comics. Ooh, the Creeper. Really like those lenticular comics. Again, this is just a random pull out of a box of stuff I've recently got. So we've got some newer comics like this. This was a limited series, number 4 or 5, Last Planet Standing. I got this because I had a production art to it and needed a copy. Plus, I think I completed my uh, 5 issue run on Last Planet Standing. This is one that I missed when it came out, but has the cosmic characters of DC and some of the future Spider Girl universe characters there. Oh, we got Marvel Tales Sensational Spider Man. This uh, story is reprinted from an earlier Marvel team up with great John Byrne artwork, Spidey and the Wasp versus Equinox. Looks like just at a glance that might be Vince Coletta inks, but I don't know. This was Marvel's 25th anniversary, and that was in 1986. How do I know that? Because I went in 1985 up to the Chicago Comic Con, and DC was celebrating their 50th year, and the next year in 1986 they were celebrating their 25th year, and they each gave us pins as convention goers to celebrate 50 years of DC, and then the next year the 25th year of Marvel. And just a couple of great years to go up. That second year, got to meet Stan Lee and ask him a question, which he didn't have a clue about the answer, but he had a funny response, as he often would. Here's Marvel Tales number 193, Sensational Spider Man. I forget who, I believe this is a John, at least is John Romita Sr., which I also met both years up there, and his wife, Virginia. We have uh, John Romita Jr. doing all these characters around there, and Spidey in his black uniform, Venom costume, if you will, with all the characters around there, and all the books during this month had this around there, and it was drawn by John Romita Sr. I really like how, I mean, Jr. And the inset there, I believe I've looked it up. It's John Romita Sr. And so it's nice to have father and son on the same cover, and not just like a drawing, but individual drawings by both, and inks over the other. They have done that team up where one draws and the other inks over it. But I like how John Romita Sr. did the cover here, because he really slimmed him down in the face and neck and everything. It looks more like Ditko. And when he first started and took over for Ditko, he tried to make it look like Ditko the first 2 or 3 issues, and then of course his own style came in, and he dropped that and just went with it. Um, Here's a facsimile. I wish it was real. Ultimate Fallout, Spider-Man No More, number 4. Uh, it's got the original ads and everything in it, except for that it says it's a facsimile issue in there around the copyright stuff. Uh, this is the first appearance of Miles Morales, a reprint of it. Too bad it's not the original thing. Be worth a couple $1,000 at least, right? In this shape, brand new. I picked that up over in Jackson, where Elsie lives in Tennessee. I have the Jack Adler to this cover here, Flash, so I had to have a copy of that. I'll be doing a thing on Jack Adler's. This one is not grouped with the others. It's up on a wall, so I'll probably have to take it down and show it. But great protesting. I mean, look at that girl biting Flash's leg, and a guy got him in a chokehold, going to karate chop him, and the other one going to hit him with a protest sign. Make war, not peace. Ban the Flash. Love Conquers All, Flower Power, Save Our Souls, We'd Rather Be Hip Than VIP, We Shall Overcome, Stamp Out Violence, and he's going to hit him with that. And this one, I cannot believe this. This is a Ross Andrew and Mike Esposito did the inks on it cover, but this sign right here by Stamp Violence, it says "Give a damn." So you have cursing on a comic cover with the authority code there, but this is Flash number 185, a 12-cent Silver Age comic, and it has the word damn on the cover, very small. So make up your mind about, what you think about that. But uh, that's quite remarkable that they actually uh, approved that and put that in there and still got the at that time the authority code. I actually had this one open for some reason, maybe to photograph. I don't know, but we'll look in here and we'll see. It's from 1969, so the end of the 60s, February apparently. But that may be one you want to add to your collection because it's a rare instance where a mainstream comic has cursing on the cover. Set that one aside for to put with my Adler. I have some Animal Men here, but we won't get into this one. I don't want to go too long with this stream, but just some wonderful Animal Man covers coming up here, and I've got some other things in a box here. But we're just going to bring this to a conclusion until next time, and I show you some other great books. You be good and take care and keep collecting.